Hey, welcome back, guys. Before I start, I just want to say thank you all so much for the many birthday wishes, donations, and gifts. I sincerely appreciate you all. This video will serve as my Power Book 2 Chessboard teaser breakdown following the footage we were given at the end of the mid-season finale. There's plenty of clues here for what's to come once the series returns. We'll also touch on Courtney Kemp's recent interview with Entertainment Weekly, where she offered insight on where the series may be headed come December. So I hope you have your popcorn ready. Before we begin, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and bell notification to immediately receive these videos. Here we go. The trailer begins with an overview of a chessboard, each end consisting of opposing black and white pieces on a rugged checkered terrain. The pieces themselves slightly mirror the filth and grime of the board, suggesting corruption on both sides, a power mainstay up till this point, as everyone, including law enforcement and politicians, has dirty hands. We're shown a quick cut, followed by an unseen black piece crumbling the white queen to pieces. The black bishop and rook are the closest in proximity to the shattered queen, but my money's on the bishop as the perpetrator. We get a quick flash of the black pieces highlighted by the knight, then a front row view of the remains of the white queen, the black pawn in close proximity to the white bishop. That pawn is immediately shown destroying the white bishop, dooming it to a fate similar to its queen. The white knight's crumbling episode comes next, though unforced by any black piece, an anomaly in chess. This piece suggests self-destruction instead of lethal opposition. At least that's what's implied until the black rook is shown. The laterally gifted piece is depicted falling into what appears to be said knight, giving the black pieces the advantage thus far. This event is followed by the first of two title placards, Make Your Move. That black rook apparently wasn't finished, as we see it destroying the white bishop in the very next frame. We get a no one is safe guarantee after this emphatic kill, the second of the two titles, followed by the black rook, bishop, knight, and queen standing alongside the white queen, knight, bishop, and rook, with the white king planted in the middle. A final flash suggests the embodiment of these pieces, accompanied by the character reveal of each piece. Cain as the black rook, Diana as the black bishop, Saxe as the black knight, Monet as the black queen, Tasha as the white queen, McLean as the white knight, Lauren the white bishop, and Brayden the white rook. The white and only king piece reserved for Tariq, our new series lead and most integral piece on the board, both figuratively and literally. After the reveal, the title shot informs us of Book 2's December return, which really isn't as long as advertised given the state of things. Now on to the critical part of this analysis. Just who will be removed from the board once the second half gets rolling? The crumbling pieces and their attackers have provided us insight into this unnerving question, as does the final reveal of each piece by their human counterpart. Let's start from the beginning. The white piece is the first piece shattered in the trailer and is later revealed to be Tasha. This spells bad news for the infamous Black Widow on two fronts. For one, it could indicate that her case has taken a turn for the absolute worst. Second, as a result of that turn, she could possibly lose her life, ending what would be a major character arc in the Powerverse, one epitomized by a mother's love making the ultimate sacrifice. Her demise could come at the hands of the Tejadas themselves, Diana or Cain in particular. Remember, the white king is destroyed by either the black bishop or black rook, which is represented by Diana and Cain respectively. If Diana's somehow the culprit, there would be a bit of poetry there, as she is Tasha's replacement in theory, the direct parallel of Tasha's younger self. Cain would likely be the perpetrator though, as he is the family enforcer. Plus, his chess piece catches the most wreck throughout the trailer, which we'll get to in just a second. Lending further credence to the Tejada angle is that they've already threatened Tasha and Tariq by proxy, so we'll keep a close eye on the former St. Patrick matriarch. It is this commentator's belief that her punishment, if ended in death, would be much too severe to waste on a newer character. And if the ties that bind remain, then we'll be seeing a very familiar face canceling Christmas sooner than later. The next crumbling chess piece shown is the white bishop. The white bishop was revealed to be Lauren at trailer's end. She's actually depicted being destroyed twice, first by an unnamed black pawn and second by the black rook, who we now know is Cain. The pawn destroying her chess representation could speak to an academic struggle. Perhaps Jabari Kelly trips her up scholastically, as we've seen him do to Tariq multiple times throughout the first half. We know that Lauren values her studies to the utmost degree, and that her parents' expectations of excellence drove her brother insane. Thus, a poor grade could represent an academic death of sorts. The second crumbling is much more insidious in my estimation. We witnessed the black rook, represented by Cain, take Lauren's white bishop out from underneath, shattering from the bottom to the top. This imagery is loaded with clues towards Lauren's possible physical death following a potential academic one. Let us observe the known before diving into the unknown. We know that Tariq and Diana have a clandestine romance and that he and Lauren have a budding one. We also know that Kane has disdain for Tariq, especially after Monet brought him into the family fold and castigated Kane by making him give his newfound brother his gun. All of this serves as pretext for Kane versus Tariq, and though he respects him, he doesn't necessarily like him. Once Kane discovers how Reek played his sister, or that they're even romantically involved at all, that could lead to some serious collateral damage for Tariq's additional relationships. As suggested here, Kane could take out Lauren in a fit of rage and family vengeance. The way her piece is removed here suggests even a kidnapping. Being struck at the bottom, then subsequently destroyed, gives off a potential ransom scenario. Anything is possible, and as the placard suggests, no one is safe. Before the bishop's second death, we get a crumbling of the White Knight. The White Knight is characterized by none other than Davis McLean, who we last saw making a side deal with the prosecution against Tariq. The White Knight's death is twofold as well, one of self-destruction and the other caused by the Black Rook, i.e. Kane. The self-destructive aspect is interesting, as pieces in conventional chess are removed by other pieces. However, the independent crumbling of McLean's piece suggests that his moves in the mid-seasoner could come back to bite him, and that his treachery against Tariq could have violent ramifications once he runs into his new Tejada family. The depiction of the Black Rook killing the White Knight is one of the most vicious in the trailer, and speaks to all of the aforementioned. Tariq just may enlist Kane to give Davis an offer he can't refuse, as Don Corleone once said, and settle a future score with the troubled counselor. Also, don't forget that Method Man's name appears over a casket in the opening title sequence, something I outlined in great detail in my Power theme song breakdown video. McLean's story will undoubtedly get rocky as we progress through the season. That about covers the crumbling sections of the trailer, but what about who's seemingly safe? As it stands, Saxe, Diana, Kane, Monet, Braden, and Tariq himself are all safe. Well, as safe as one can be in this crazy Powerverse, neither of their pieces came crumbling down, giving an advantage to the black pieces over the white, save for Braden's rook. Let's take a look at Tariq's book list for further insight into how events may play out in the latter five. These are the final titles: Leviathan versus the Second Treaties of Government, The 48 Laws of Power, Invisible Man, Frankenstein, and Heart of Darkness. Of the 5 remaining books listed, 3 of them really stand out for me. The 48 Laws of Power is Robert Greene's classic amoral strategy guide to gaining the upper hand over one's contemporaries in every facet of life. It's this commentator's contention that the book actually inspired the series of the same name, and we saw Ghost operating within its framework on plenty of occasions. We'll see more of the same with his son going forward. Invisible Man, Ralph Waldo Ellison's magnum opus, deals with the loss of innocence through the context of racist America and the limitations those obstacles place on black youth. Power has explored many themes, but racism has been rarely visited. It'll be interesting to see what obstacles Tariq runs into, especially with Stern and his new husband. Finally, and perhaps most interestingly, we have the classic Frankenstein, which comes in at 109. Now, it's been highly speculated that Tommy's return would line up here, especially considering Tasha's continued betrayals against her old friend and brother. How poetic would it be to see the monster that she created return to sever old ties for good? And what kind of monster would that subsequently turn her son into? The possibilities are endless, and this episode should be a major turning point in Tariq's arc, and the series at large. On the subject of Tommy's return, Courtney Kim all but confirmed it once we get rolling again. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, she stated that, quote, "If someone said my name in court about something I didn't do, I would want to talk to them about it," end quote. This was a reference to Tasha's infamous falsehood against him in episode 1. Another piece of evidence that connects Tommy to book 2 is Tariq's current weapon. Well, stolen weapon, now courtesy of Diana. The gun is identical to the one Tommy killed his father with way back in season 5. And he'll be back to retrieve it and his overdue vengeance against Tasha, who he let slide after Lakeisha's death as a final act of love for his former sister. Kemp also hinted at Tasha's seemingly grim fate, adding that her control over Tariq is part of the issue with his development. He was ready to kill Tamika had McLean not unknowingly intervened, and honestly, he'll never rise to the man he's going to be with his mother's influence so heavy-handed in his life. It's not looking good for the matriarch with all this in mind. Lastly, there's still a chance, albeit slim, that the Ghost Man makes an appearance in this season. Kemp previously admitted via IG Live that we'd see Ghost in a different form. That led many to believe that he had a brother lurking, an apparition waiting, or something even more insidious. Remember, Ghost's body still hasn't been shown, nor a memorial given in his name by the Power Brass via YouTube and other social sites. Thus, his death hasn't really been confirmed, even though he's technically had a funeral service on the show. There's an extremely interesting theory on Ghost's death that lends many to believe that he still walks the earth somewhere in the Powerverse. But what do you make of all of this? Who will survive Book 2's first season, and who won't? And will Tommy return before season's end? Be sure to leave me your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. If you liked today's video, go ahead and drop $1 on that Cash App, hit the like button for us, share it with your friends who are Power Ghost fans, and subscribe for more content such as this. This is Rudy P. Magic of Rudy P. Magic Beats, and have a blessed one until the next one. Peace, y'all.